The Rams have a miracle rally against Las Vegas, and the press might start screaming Mayfieldmania. We might need to tap the brakes. The Dodgers front office is alive! Barely, but alive. And the LA Galaxy rid themselves of the French mistake. Voila! Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is December 9th, 2022. I am back home with the wife for a weekend. It is a glorious thing. We added a new subscriber to the Angelino familia. Also glorious. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like the content we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yeah, you should comment. It's a pretty good day to be an Angelino. Before we go through the news and notes, look at the scoreboard. Yesterday, the Rams rallied from 13 points down to beat Las Vegas 17-16. Van Jefferson catches a 23-yard touchdown pass from newly arrived Baker Mayfield with 10 seconds left. And the Rams stop a 6-game losing streak. We're going to talk more about Baker Mayfield in a moment. Also, Paul George scores 29, but the Clippers fall in Miami 115-110. And the Kings, burn the game tape on this one. A 5-0 loss to Toronto. It's the first time the Kings were shut out all year. Meanwhile, today, LeBron James and Anthony Davis both considered likely to play when the Lakers take on Philadelphia at 4:30. So I don't want to spend a lot of time ripping Baker Mayfield. Previous tapes that you had seen on this channel, I thought it was absolutely absurd that he would be coming to LA, let alone the concept of him starting or playing. And it wound up happening and the Rams won. I don't want to rip him too much because it's a hell of a story. It really is. It's very compelling. And on top of that, I like the Rams. I like it when they win. But pull the camera back, look at the bigger picture. And what do we know? Well, the Rams defense stepped up as it has all year. Derek Carr got outplayed, not necessarily because Baker Mayfield is great, but because the Rams defense continues to play great. He only threw for 137 yards yesterday with 2 picks. Then you look at Davante Adams. 3 receptions all game long. Oh, sure, he had that great one-armed reception against Jalen Ramsey at the start. Ramsey stepped up. Only 3 receptions all game long. We also know that the Raiders, in blowing the lead last night, that was the 4th time this year that they have blown a lead of at least 13 points to lose. They are the 4th team in NFL history to accomplish such a feat. So that is a profound history this year of not finishing the game. We also know that on that particular game-winning drive, the Raiders intercepted a pass, but it was nullified on pass interference on an entirely different defensive back. That interception could have ended the game. We also know that Jerry Tillery, on that same game-winning drive, committed a ridiculous personal foul. Tillery should have known better. He was trying to be a bully, swatting the ball out of Mayfield's hand after Mayfield got sacked. You don't do that. That's a personal foul. Tillery did it anyway. 27 of the 98 yards that the Rams had to go to win that game, 27 came on Raiders penalties. So to the victor go the spoils. And I don't want to start insulting Baker Mayfield because a win is a win. But he also accomplished that against the 5th worst pass defense in the NFL. So we might want to consider tapping the brakes a little bit. And besides that, let's be real. Sean McVay is to the Rams what John Gruden once was to the Raiders, with the exception, of course, of the racist emails. See, much like John Gruden, Sean McVay has never met a quarterback he didn't think he could turn into a Pro Bowler. Rich Gannon accomplished it with John Gruden back in the day. And Gruden just loves quarterback after quarterback. He's like, yeah, if I just get him in and show him in the film room and start diagramming, I can do. That's not necessarily true. And Sean McVay has the same problem. He thought he could turn Jared Goff into a Hall of Famer. And when Jared Goff didn't do everything he said, Goff was on the outs. So that they bring in Matthew Stafford. Stafford gets hurt. So what does McVay and the Rams do? Well, who could we coach up? Bryce Perkins, 1 game. Last night, John Wolford only got in 3 snaps last night. 3. He didn't even throw a pass. And then all of a sudden, McVay and brings in Mayfield. So what are we supposed to say about that? I mean, Baker Mayfield as the answer for the Rams? Baker Mayfield has played for 3 teams in a calendar year. He has 3 playbooks on his bookcase right now. That is not necessarily a long-term solution. I don't even know if Mayfield is going to play the entirety of next week's game with this quick hook that McVay has. So, again, tap the brakes. We have our Dodgers allegedly are interested in whiteboard back. As you know, it was once up to 27 names. Since then, name after name has been wiped off. The Dodgers, I was trying to tell everybody, they are not interested in all of those players. You can't go after 27 different people. It's absurd. But the national press was too stupid to tap the brakes and say, wait a minute, is this breaking news that I'm about to report really breaking news, or is it just free agent hype? So the Dodgers did wind up making a move, but it wasn't for a name on that list at all. Matter of fact, it's for a player that nobody is really sure is going to be able to contribute anything for the team next year. It's Jason Hayward. What's a huge name? Absolutely. But Jason Hayward was last seen hitting .204 with 1 home run before getting cut by the Chicago Cubs. And by the way, the Cubs are still on the hook for the man's salary. They are going to pay him $22 million this year. So no, it may be the time of Christmas, but that free agent signing, oh, that's like getting socks under the tree. That's not going to move the needle at all. Now, by the way, as you can tell, I've wiped names off of the Dodgers are interested in list. Yeah, it went from 27 to 18. There's only one piece of breaking news I can give you regarding that. Justin Turner, the Arizona Diamondbacks are interested in plucking him away from LA. Meanwhile, Andrew Friedman, he speaks with the LA Times about why the Dodgers didn't spend big this offseason. Quote, we've seen a lot of large market teams compete over a short period of time and then fall off a cliff, unquote. In other words, he's thinking about the Boston Red Sox. He's thinking about the Chicago Cubs. Both pushed all their chips in. Maybe they got a title, in Boston's case too, and now where are they? What Friedman is saying is we're getting under the salary tax threshold. Probably going to have to play a couple of youngsters, but this is not a fire sale. Besides that, the Dodgers are still a big money team. And I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I am. He said they were all in on Justin Verlander because Verlander was that special, but they could use the cap space they have now to pursue other free agents or pursue big name players in the trade market in the summer. By the way, a friend of mine reminded me of something last night. The Dodgers are currently $38 million under the luxury tax threshold. What happens with Trevor Bauer? If Trevor Bauer is owed pay for this year after the arbitrator rules on his suspension, that's $32 million. So even if Trevor Bauer is on, the Dodgers are on the hook for that money, the Dodgers are still under their cap. So we're starting to see in focus that all of those names on that list was a pipe dream by sports writers who were too willing to be first as opposed to be right. The long Galaxy nightmare is over. Kevin Cabral, one of the fastest men I've ever seen without feet, has been traded by the Galaxy to the Colorado Rapids. And I say without feet because I've never seen him actually use his feet in a soccer match. What do I mean by that? Well, they brought him in from France. They thought he was going to be this young, under-the-radar, highfalutin goal scorer. First year with the Galaxy, 5 goals. 5. They play approximately 40 games in the United States during the course of a soccer season, 5 goals. And then everybody's like, well, maybe it's an anomaly. Maybe he's got to get used to the culture. Maybe he's got to just relax a little bit. It'll be so much better than 5 goals next year. And in year 2, 1 goal. He was the black hole of offense. Everything went in there, got caught up in the vortex, never to be seen again. So the Galaxy absolutely wanted to get rid of the guy. They found a trade partner in Colorado. They're getting something called general allocation money. To be honest with you, I can't describe general allocation money to you. The MLS rules for salary cap structure, it's too Byzantine for me to explain simply. But what it does do for the Galaxy, you are allowed 3, quote, designated player slots on your roster every year. Consider the designated player to be the big highfalutin free agent signing. You're only allowed 3. The Galaxy have 2. Don't be surprised if the Galaxy make a big move sometime within the next couple of weeks. There was a suspension in the front office last week. The Galaxy are barred from getting somebody over the summer outside of the United States or Canada. If they are going to make a major upgrade to their roster, it has to be done, and it has to be done quickly. Now, where would they go? Well, midfield, I wouldn't expect at all. Ricky Puig isn't going anywhere. Neither is Gaston Brugman or Mark Delgado. You get rid of a striker in Cabral. Don't be surprised if they use it to sign a striker, but that's just a guess. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the Bolts are preparing, quote, a franchise record contract, unquote, for Justin Herbert. Now, why would they do that? Well, because they don't want to be the 4th team to give Baker Mayfield a playbook in a calendar year. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they have to back the Brinks truck up for Herbert is actually a reason that Coach Brandon Staley might be on the hot seat. This is from an opposing general manager. You see, if you recall the Seattle Seahawks from back in the day, when Russell Westbrook was a quarterback who was a young quarterback. Anyway, a young quarterback gets a contract of about this size. A veteran quarterback gets this much. And the salary cap is like this. The Seahawks back in the day, when Wilson was young, they had him on the small contract. They loaded the rest of the roster with high-priced talent. And then they went out and won a Super Bowl. The Chargers were doing the same thing. If you remember, they had this massive offseason going into the season. And now they're just piddling around 500. So now Herbert's rookie contract is expiring. In order to pay Herbert this much, you've got to cut a lot of talent in order to fit him in under the salary cap. So what does this opposing GM say about it all? Quote, they've wasted the 3 cheapest years of Herbert's career. Staley has to go. They can't keep him, unquote. In other words, Staley wasted a lot of talent. Caleb Williams won the Maxwell Award and Walter Camp Award last night, which are both awarded to the best player in college football. You could also call them the awards that nobody gives a damn about, because the best player in college football gets the Heisman. The Heisman Award comes out on Saturday. Ex-Bruins defensive lineman Tyler Manoa, he went into the transfer portal. He did not spend a lot of time in the transfer portal. He has gone to Arizona. And I'll be honest with you, I like the guy. I like the guy because he tried to be an ultimate team player for UCLA. He wanted to be a defensive lineman. The Bruins said, hey, we got holes in the offensive line. Can you do us a solid? And he tried his best to be an offensive lineman. It didn't work out. I like people who are team players. Good luck to the man. I hope he has a good time out in Tucson. He had to split. But it's not all about players leaving the Bruins during the transfer portal. They did add a defenseman in the portal yesterday. They plucked a defenseman from Cal, Oluwafemi Oladeju. Oladeju, by the way, yeah, I could see why the Bruins wanted him. He made an impression on UCLA. He made 17 tackles against UCLA during the regular season finale in November. So we got a lot to talk about. What do you think about Baker Mayfield? What did you think about the Dodgers offseason so far? Or for that matter, are you as relieved as a lot of Galaxy fans are about Kevin Cabral? Let me know what you think in the comments thread. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk a lot of LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.